Battle continues May 1st at the second stop on the PSP Tour, so mark your calendars and sign up your team to take the field at the 2015 PSP Nashville Open. Watch all the action going down and broadcast live May 1st through the 3rd on PSPEvents.com.
Here, 2014 PSP Dallas Open. I'm Matty Marshall, Todd Martinez beside me, and we are about to see the D4 final matchup, and that will be Chicago Warped Black taking on H-Town Notorious FSU. So this should be a good matchup here to determine the winner in Division 4. Also in Division 4, this is a race to 4 points, and there's only 12 minutes of game time.
So, got a lot of chaos going on up here in the middle of the field. Bodies dropping all over the place from both sides. Chicago Warped taking on H-Town Notorious. And a red flag goes flying in the air. That's going to be a penalty out of the back. Both those back center guys going to walk off. So H-Town Notorious getting kind of beat on. That first game, Chicago Warped taking it to him.
Yeah, Chicago Warp looking real good there. Good job by Josh Rickley and Lauren Galloway. Confirmed kills, as well as Mark Coda. So yeah. Mark Coda shooting Desmond Ward.
H-Town Notorious lost a body off the Snake side, then a body off the Dorito side, and then that major penalty in the back center. That was the killer. So Chicago Warp going up 1 here in these D4 finals. These guys play a 12-minute clock.
Yeah, it's 12 minutes, race to 4 points. So not a lot of time and not a lot of points to work with.
Yeah.
So.
And again, this is the first time
that they've seen this field.
These teams are seeing this field. So whether they got much time to walk it, you know, the 2 layouts out here for them to take a look at. But watching all the pros play, you know, all throughout the weekend, definitely would have been a good investment in your future out here for making the finals.
Yeah, well, they get a little head start on the rest of the divisional teams.
Yeah.
Get one little extra practice game out here before, because this is going to be the layout that the divisional teams will play in Nashville. So the Nashville Open coming up. It's going to be honest before we know it. And so right now, Chicago Warped, right-hand side. Notorious, left-hand side. Here we go. Let's see if Chicago Warped can extend their lead. Looking at H-Town Notorious off the break. And 2 guns up in that back center, shooting both ways, and now running up into the center for Chicago Warped. Able to make it up there alive. Referee checking out a player from Notorious on the Snake side of the field. And
Chicago Warped out to that Dorito 1. They got a player in the center tower. Make a move out here to the outside temple. H-Town Notorious getting busy up in the middle of the field, getting bonus balled as he comes through on the A. Doesn't look like he got anybody. He tried to shoot him underneath. Referee gonna run in there and give him a check. Oh, and Chicago Warp gonna lose a player. Coming out here to the Snake side, trying to make a move. Lots of bodies, 4 bodies walking off right now for Chicago Warped.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened to them. Just dying in droves over there. This is exactly what H-Town Notorious wanted to happen, though. Evan Stein, Mark Franz, and Desmond Ward still alive on the field. And just 1 player left alive for Chicago Warped in that back center. Here comes the move up the Snake for Notorious. H-Town Notorious communicating crossfield, trying to tell his boys that the last player has been eliminated. And now looks like we're gonna get a tie ball game here with under 10 minutes of play. This game brought to you by Kill Cliff Recovery Drink. So Notorious refusing to let Warped start running points up in this D4 final matchup here. making extra sure that he's clean. That's smart. Don't want to hang it with a hit. You hang it with a hit, it's going to be a penalty and a no point. So the referee's going to scour that player. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly with an update from the Challengers field.
Hey guys, I have a pretty crazy update from the Challenger match between Shock and Outlaws. So in the last 4 minutes, Shock was able to get 2 more points and get that win 6-1 against the Outlaws, so they will be advancing to the finals. But during one of the last points, Brian McKenna and one of the Outlaw players were charging down the middle of the field to the X. Neither one knew the other one was coming, and they ran straight into each other. The barrel hit Brian McKenna in the face and split his chin open. He was actually holding his chin together and is heading to the hospital right now. I talked to him. He's okay. He's in a lot of pain, but he will not be playing for Shock in the finals. Back to you.
Ouch.
Poor Brian McKenna.
Man, Brian McKenna. I mean, it's not like he was pretty anyway. Just kidding, Brian McKenna. I hope you're all right.
Yeah, so it looks like so Shock, a new team out here on Sunday, and what that means is that we're going to see Chicago Aftershock playing in the Champions Division at the Nashville Open.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
the top 2 teams advance. So they still have yet to determine the winner for that bracket out there. But still, that is good to see Chicago Aftershock, after not doing very well in the prelims, to come out here, reinvigorize their squad. Again, great lineup, man. They got Woodley on that team now. Ronnie D's on. Todd Adamson has come back into the fold. Mikey Bruno's been doing a really good job of building that team. So they totally redeemed themselves today, winning against the Tremagun Outlaws. So, yeah, that should be an interesting game, as Thunder will be taking on, is it Thunder?
Yeah, Thunder and Legion.
Yes, Thunder and Legion. So, and then the winner of that game will move in to play Chicago Aftershock. So we'll keep you guys updated with those scores as the day progresses.
So, H-Town losing a body early, trying to make a move to fill in up the middle. Chicago Warp losing a body off the snake side. Here comes the referee running in the middle of the field to go check another H-Town Notorious player in his pack. He gets shot in the goggles, but he's going to get a minor anyway because he was shot previous to getting shot in the goggles. Warp player screaming, calling the kill. And then takes off, launches up the middle. That's number 14, Lauren Galloway. Galloway gets his cap peeled back. And there's number 45 out here on the snake side, trying to wrap around, make a move up the field.
So this is a huge one right here, as these 2 teams are tied up. Here comes Chicago Warped, in much better position than they were that last point. Up to the 50-yard line in the center, going to wrap around and try to take out the last player. Chicago Warped does a lot of bodies to work with, so. And perfect point for Chicago Warped here to take the lead 2-1. Did a really good job isolating players off the break, Todd, and just executing there in that point.
Yeah, and Maddie, the sun has officially remained out.
Yeah, it took till Sunday afternoon, but
it is now a warm day in Dallas.
Yeah, they had to actually let air out of the bunkers. That's when you know the sun's come out.
Yeah. I got way too many layers on right now.
Yeah, what do you think this is, Friday morning? Yeah, so it took a while, but finally get a nice day out here. It's probably not going to have enough time to get the mud to dry out, but that wouldn't be good anyway, because then you're just running around diving on concrete.
All right.
So looking into the pits right now for Chicago Warped, up 2-1 over H-Town Notorious. So a good full team. There was a penalty on Notorious, so that helped Chicago Warped. But a full team effort there. Lots of guys getting kills on that one.
Yeah, and Chicago Warp coming up. You know, here 2-1. You know, McKenna's Canadian, right? They have that centralized health care.
Yeah, free health care up there.
Yeah. Is he going to be okay down here in the United States?
Probably.
Send some Canadian dollars down to pay for it.
So these 2 teams going to play this next one here. 8 minutes and 1 second to go in this D4 final matchup. Again, only a race to 4 and only 12 minutes to work with. Also, you saw a penalty that point. So the way the penalties work here, again, 1 for 1s, that's the minor, and a major is a 2 for 1. There is no penalty box. It does not come into play in the divisions. So now they're going to switch sides. So Chicago Warped on your screen now. Going to be on the left-hand side.
Chicago Warp look like they're going to break 3 out to the Dorito side. They have 2 charged up the middle. They lose 1 on the break going out to that Dorito side pin. H-Town losing 2 bodies on the break, possibly 3 as the referee runs in the middle of the field. Looks like the turf's getting a little sticky out there. Players aren't sliding very far. Got to be smart about your moves. H-Town almost lost a player on the dive out to that Dorito side, Phil. Warp losing a body out of that center of the field. Warp losing 2 bodies, but they're able to get a bump out here to the snake side of the field and gain some ground. H-Town, they had a body in the snake side corner, but he gets picked off. He comes walking out, so just 2 bodies left alive now for Notorious. 1 over there in that mini race bunker, and the Dorito side can as Warped starts to come down the snake side. And he picks up the player in the can on the Dorito side. Just 1 body left alive for H-Town. He's going to try and fight it out by jumping up into that mini Dorito.
Oh, hey, and if Warp gets this point, they're going to be 1 point away from victory here, and it's looking that way. Nice closeout here from Chicago Warped. Beautiful job.
Oh, my goodness. Chicago Warped. Remember Chicago Warped? We've seen them in this situation before. It was the guy who was like, we got this in the bag. And then they didn't have it in the bag.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the next one, it was like, okay, we don't have this in the bag yet.
Well, no, then they cut the guy that said that they had it in the bag.
Yeah.
Who, drawing the ire of the paintball gods, ended up losing that one. And that was one of the best come-from-behind victories we saw in recent memory in the divisions. So
that was a pretty fun game.
Yeah, so it's almost in the bag right now for Chicago Warp, Todd.
Almost in the bag.
Notice how that operative word there is almost. Because with 6 minutes and 33 seconds left, I mean, H-Town Notorious is only down 2 points.
Yeah.
There's no reason they couldn't score 2 points in 6 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, you don't want to say it's in the bag if it's not in the bag.
I just said it was almost in the bag.
It's looking at the bag, thinking about getting in the bag.
There's an option for it to be in the bag.
There's a slight possibility, greater than slight actually, that the bag might be put around it.
All right, well, we'll find out if it's in the bag when we come back from a word from our sponsors. We're here at Cousins Paintball Park in Dallas, Texas for the 2015 PSP Dallas Open. And right now, Chicago Warped is 1 point away from taking this tournament win here, this victory against H-Town Notorious. Remember, Cousins Paintball Park, Woods Ball, Rec Ball, Walk-Ons are home to many affiliate leagues. And great place to play paintball down here. I know they got the biblical deluge came the week preceding this event, so hence the mud bog. But So trudging out to play this point and try to save this tournament for themselves is H-Town Notorious. Already ready to go. Chicago Warped.
Yeah, Chicago Warp trying to put a plan together over here. They got their 5 guys out in the gate. Looks like they're trying to make some last-minute substitutions as Coda comes back on the field.
So a timeout was called by Notorious, and so that's why we have about 20 seconds to go before the start of this next one. You get 2 minutes of timeout time to talk over game plans or try to slow the momentum of your opponents. So Warped on your screen. Okay, off the break. Notorious on your right, Warped on your left. The split screen breakout here. Now we're looking at Chicago Warped, 2-point advantage. They lose a body though. No one dead for Notorious yet. But they don't have very much ground.
Now they did take that that Dorito side corner though, give themselves a little bit of spacing. And they're getting out wide over here on the snake side. Looks like referee running in. Nope, gonna be clean. H-Town not giving up very easily. Still no bodies. Oh, there goes one body for H-Town. But they are now on Warp side of the field. And he makes AJ Specca pay for it. And then that guy gets destroyed. But here comes 2 bodies running and gunning for Notorious.
Still, though, dropping bodies on both sides. Notorious walking off on that D side. And I think there's just 1 player left alive for them. We might have
looks like a 2-on-1.
Yeah, it looks like a 2-on-1.
I don't think they know that that body's alive. I don't think they know he's sneaking.
Oh, so they did not know that he was alive.
Oh man!
But he had to post up on the inside guide, Todd, and he didn't realize that there was another guy alive on the outside. So as he blasted the inside guy, as the Warp guy blasts the Notorious player on the inside, the Notorious player who was slowly jaunting down the field, thinking that the point was over, and then he blasted the other guy. So
I think his mistake was ramping to shoot that guy. He shot him like 3 or 4 times. I think he saw the first guy going too. He might have thought he was dead, the guy on the outside. Because 2 guys came on the inside, and he shot the first guy with more than a few balls. So he sees him and goes boom, 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 and then gets blown up in the back. He had a chance to shoot the first guy.
Did you see the slouch of disappointment from the Notorious player when he got blasted, just completely going to sleep on this guy? So watch, here comes him in the inside.
See?
So just slowly jogging the flag in. He looks up. Luckily, he head checks that way or looks that way. Sees him, turns around, blasts him,
yeah,
and then he gets blasted. And look at the slouch of disappointment.
If he
the
knew,
slow stare, slouch.
If he knew what he was doing right there, should have just getting that first guy, get him 1 time, and then wheel and deal.
Yeah, you can see the sky's slowly starting to clear here. So between that play right there and the one-on-one that we saw with Manners, the last game, and if you guys just tuned in and you haven't seen the game that Prime played against the Charlotte Bloodhounds when they defeated the Bloodhounds, you need to go back and watch that game because there was a very unique one-on-one in that situation. So kind of cool to see these divisional games out here. And 1, to see the teams that are coming up the ranks and who's looking good this year in the divisions. And then 2, you know, there's always interesting stuff happening in division games.
Gets wild out here sometimes.
So 4 minutes and 51 seconds, and all of a sudden, just when Chicago Warp thought they had it in the bag, Notorious scores a quick point, Todd.
Yep. Never in the bag, Manny, until it's actually in the bag.
On the breakout, the teams have switched sides out now, so Notorious is on your left and Warped on your right. Let's see if Warped, major penalty on Notorious, so this might finally seal the deal here for Chicago Warped. Chicago Warp looking up, seeing that body's coming off, so they start to push up and aggressively in the center and up on that D side as well. So nice work by Chicago Warped as they are going to take the victory here in Division 4 away from H-Town Notorious, and a perfect point for them in this last one to put that oh so important 4th point on the board with 3 minutes and about 50 seconds to go. Flag getting walked in here. So after a slow trudge through the mud, referee going to check out the flag carrier for Chicago Warped. And if the hang is clean, the victory will be assured, and it is. So a triumphant Chicago Warped here against H-Town Notorious. So coming up next, we're going to have Texas Team Pro Edge Army going to be taking on the Ralph Boys in the D3 finals. So stick around for that. And again, a big congratulations goes out to the boys from Chicago Warp Black. We're going to be right back with some more awesome paintball action coming at you from the 2015 PSP Dallas Open. See you in just a few moments.
Mark your calendars and get ready for the battle at the upcoming stops on the 2015 PSP Tour. The Nashville Open goes down May 1st through the 3rd. Mid-Atlantic Open June 18th through the 21st. The Chicago Open takes place August 7th through the 9th. And the biggest paintball tournament on earth, the PSP World Cup, runs October 15th through the 18th. Sign up your team now and get into the fight. Watch all the action on pspevents.com. You don't want to miss it.